Hello, I'm Nicholas Rubio, and I'm going to review a movie about trains, folks far apart, and the magic railroad that brought them together. So, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, quite the interesting installment for this brand, considering not a lot of critics liked it and its box office was a flop. It didn't do very well, although a lot of Thomas and Friends fans tend to enjoy it, like me for example. I find it quite an interesting adventure, combining live-action humans and the models of the first couple of seasons. This film took a big step for the franchise, and today I'm going to discuss my thoughts on Thomas and the Magic Railroad. The film centers around Thomas and his friends dealing with an evil diesel named Diesel 10 and Mr. Conductor watching over the engines while Sir Topham Hatt is away. During Mr. Conductor's time on Sodor, he runs out of gold dust. That is the way he travels from his home Shining Time all the way to the island of Sodor. He has to find the source of it. And while Diesel 10 is on Sodor, his goal is to find a lost engine named Lady. Lady is a magical steam engine who is part of Mr. Conductor's source of gold dust. Lady is hidden by her owner, Burnett Stone, who both encountered Diesel 10 before, and Lady nearly got destroyed because of that. However, she gets restored and is back in action. During the film, Burnett's granddaughter Lily comes to visit and she helps as well restore Lady. Alright, now that we've discussed what it's about, let's go over the pros and the cons of this movie. One of Thomas and the Magic Railroad's many pros is this movie's cover of the song, "He's a Really Useful Engine." But this movie has the best version of 3. The Season 4 version is great, but it doesn't have the heart and the energy of the Magic Railroad version, and that one, it feels a lot more cinematic. The Adventure Begins version is also more cinematic, and this one has more of a relaxing tone. It feels very rewarding, and touches on Thomas's overall character arc in the movie, but the Magic Railroad version is my favorite. It just has that heart of gold feeling for the franchise. And the quality of the song really symbolizes what this is about on a deeper level. The new characters are also something great to point at, not just the humans, but the engines too. Splatter and Dodge are awesome characters, and I feel like we could have seen more of them throughout the film. I really like how Diesel 10 calls them splodge, and I especially love how they stand up for themselves during the climax of the film, showing as they really hated Diesel 10's deeds and didn't want to be a part of them anymore. It's such a shame we never got to see these two in the TV series. Lady is a very beautiful engine whose magic is like no other. She's such a special character and I'm glad she was protected. And then there's Diesel 10. What a fantastic antagonist for this movie. He's such a serious engine and he can be a little goofy sometimes. Easily my favorite Thomas and Friends villain. And I absolutely enjoy his later appearances in the series so much. And that final chase scene at the end of the film, man, it's so good. Seeing Diesel 10 chase Thomas, Lady, and Burnett Stone across majority of Sodor feels very fast-paced, and seeing vast locations throughout the chase scene is very breathtaking. I've covered all my favorite parts of the film. I don't think I can specifically think of another great part, but you will get the idea of what I enjoy the most. I enjoy the film's other songs, such as I Know How the Moon Must Feel and The Locomotion, but they're not exactly top tier. And I'll say that the film has a very nice intro and intro music. Now, what are some of the negatives of this movie? I don't have many problems with Thomas and the Magic Railroad, but when it comes to negatives, there is one big thing I would like to point out, and that is the film focuses on the human characters. While none of them are bad, don't get me wrong, it's just that they aren't really familiar characters when you think about it. See, they mainly come from an American 80s and 90s series called Shining Time Station, and it was basically the introduction for Thomas the Tank Engine in the United States. and it starred Mr. Conductor. He was played by the late Beatle Ringo Starr in the first season and the late comedian George Carlin in the later seasons, both of which narrated the classic series of Thomas and Friends for seasons 1 through 4. Ringo was the narrator for seasons 1 and 2 in both the US and the UK dubs, while George Carlin narrated seasons 3 and 4 as well as redubbing the first 2 in the US. And when you put these characters as the main focus of a Thomas movie, it just doesn't feel right. Also, not a lot of people watched the Shining Time Station show, so it's possible they could get this confused. Thomas the Tank Engine is the most recognizable of the two here. I know I haven't seen the Shining Time series, but I'm just trying to understand what they're doing here most of the time. If you watch Shining Time Station, then you're lucky, I guess. And given this is a film about Thomas the Tank Engine, it just feels off. And if you put it all together, then Thomas only appears in this film for 11 minutes. The titular character of this movie only gets 11 minutes and 49 seconds of screen time, even though this is supposed to be his movie. But I still enjoyed this movie and these characters nonetheless. Thomas and the Magic Railroad is a good movie. It is not a perfect movie by all means. I think it really stands out when you compare it to other live-action movies and the other Thomas and Friends movies. It's just trying to be its own thing, combining live-action humans and the models of the classic series. This isn't a go-to movie for watching per se. If I wanted to sit down and watch a live-action movie time to time, I'd probably put on something like Sonic 3, Wicked, the Home Alone series, but only the first two, and Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies. Just some examples. And for a go-to Thomas movie, I'd settle for something like Legend of the Lost Treasure, Adventure Begins, Blue Mountain Mystery, Great Discovery, or Hero of the Rails. But I still like Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and I'd probably recommend it to someone who hasn't seen it. And if you're a big fan of the model series, especially the first 5 seasons, come check this film out. As for my rating of the film, I give Magic Railroad an 8 out of 10. It's definitely better than Big World Big Adventures and Misty Island Rescue. That'll be all, folks. Let me know if you want me to review another Thomas movie, because I'd be happy to. Maybe do a ranking of all 14 films eventually. But until then, peace out, happy 80th anniversary to this franchise.